YouTube. I am Lachey LS. And yes, I'm signing because my viewers may be deaf or hard of hearing. And I decided to go ahead and talk about my topic I said this morning and felt like everyone can benefit from these topics. It was a very important topic about unnecessary gossip, and some of you tend to do this more than you need to. I know a few that likes to gossip about things that have nothing to do with them, and they get frustrated because no one wants to be around them because they're so busy gossiping about everyone else's business instead of their own. It doesn't look good as a spiritual person living and trying to walk the life of God. And when you are doing that, you want to improve the way you think and how you feel when it comes to spiritual world living. And I brought my Bible to tell you the scriptures that it relates to about the gossiping. God don't like it when we're gossiping a wrong way of gossiping. He also doesn't like when you're telling someone else's business. He wants you to talk. He wants you to share your stories, but not about, oh, she's not doing good in the relationship and or the kids don't listen to her. You know, that kind of mess. Being sloppy isn't the way God wants to see you live your life. Anyway, the scriptures that relates to this is Ephesians 4:29, chapter 4, verse 29. And then it came to James 1, chapter 1, 26, and Proverbs 20, chapter 20, verse 19. So, he doesn't like it when you do that, you know. And go ahead and read those scriptures. You'll see what they're really trying to say. Gossiping doesn't look good when you're doing that. But I'm not going to go all along like I did this morning. Just saying, if you are trying to live a spiritual life, you should ignore the gossip. If someone tells you something, you just ignore it and keep on going instead of getting involved and, oh, I can't believe it. Really? Same goes. It applies to you as a spiritual person. You should ignore the situation. It has nothing to do with you. You should not waste your time trying to put your nose in their business. And if that person told you their situation, it's not nice to gossip about their situation. You might be that friend that only one there for them and they were expressing themselves. They don't need you to tell the world about their business or your situation. God doesn't like when you're doing that. And you have to be honest with yourself when it comes to that. I do. You know, it's the same idea with your family. You're not going to go running around telling people about how your family is doing if they're not doing so good. You'll be proud telling people about their business. It's not nice. We should be sharing the story about how we are getting better in the spiritual world and learning to accept God's creation. That's what we should be doing. We should be running around allowing God to hear how we connect and gotten better over the years, telling our testimony. And the more we tend to do that, the better we feel. We don't feel good when you're gossiping about someone. Come on, I know you're not feeling good about that. Come on. You want to avoid that as much as you can because it's not even worth it to do that. Gossiping just makes you look bad. It doesn't make you look good. It makes you look bad. That's why I say, be careful how you are about others. Because God sees all things. He sees all things. And our duty is more heavy once we accept God in our lives and willing to walk in the right footsteps. We are saying, yes, God, I want to live and be better for myself. So that means you have to get rid of old ways, old habits, like I said in my past topics before, other videos I have said in my past. You really have to let go of that, because to move on, you have to really, really let go of things that don't benefit you in the spiritual world. It's the same idea for gossiping. God does not want you to gossip about others and their situation. You're just making yourself look bad for doing that. You want to be a good example. We have to be careful how we are as spiritual people living and looking up to God, thinking about how He sees you as His children. We have to really be careful, because we're really living it, and we have to be careful how God sees us. We get more of a punishment when we're doing wrong, because we feel it. We feel it more. Our reputation is to help others see God's grace. And the more we tend to do that, the better we feel about everything. And that's the truth. There's no other way to it. That's why I say gossiping is not necessarily doing that. Keep your mouth and your opinion on the gossiping of that person's life to yourself. It doesn't need to be gossiping about them. You may not always agree with everything they're doing in their life, but you don't run their house. You don't run their situation and their problem. So you should be concentrating on yourself in your own home, what's going on in your own home, and taking care of your home, and not everybody else's home. As the more we focus on our home and how it's going, and is everyone in this house following the rules and doing right for God. Sometimes I have to say, like my mom and me were the only ones that were spiritual in the house. I went to church and I prayed a lot. My brothers were some bad boys. But you can't be thinking about everyone else in the church and everyone else outside. Outside your house, it don't matter to you. What matters to you should be your home only. As I already said, if it does not benefit you, why do you waste your time even wanting to talk and gossip about someone else's problems or business? And once again, we should not even try to use another person's problem to be part of yours, because that doesn't look good as a spiritual person. If you help them, okay. But telling the story and gossiping about it is something else. That's why it's important. If you want to help them, help them. Meaning you're being a good spiritual person, helping the person in their situation. But gossiping is another thing. You are bashing them. That's what you're doing. And gossiping is bashing. When you're gossiping about someone's life or business, you are saying, I don't care about you. Technically. Or and also when you're gossiping and you did help this person, you were bragging that you helped this person. You're not looking good in the eyes of God. God is saying, hey, You might have helped them, but I took away your blessings. I always think about that. I may help a person, but I just leave it alone. I just don't go run around and say, hey, oh my God, she had a troubled child, and I had to help her, blah, blah. Is that really nice to gossip about someone that was really needing your help at the time, and you was able to help them, and you're making them feel like they're not important because you're going running around gossiping about them? You have to be careful when you're doing that, because it hurts. And when it hurts, it's not sweet. No one likes to find out who started someone's gossip. As I said this morning, when you cause a rumor, you can break a good friend. And it's sad when that happens. That's why I say, as spiritual people needs to be careful where we stand when we do those things. Because the more trouble we cause in our spiritual wealth, the more we have to ask forgiveness from God. And believe me, the more increase of sin that you have to ask God for forgiveness, it's harder. That's why it's important to try to follow the right path to keep you in the right line. Because when we go the wrong way in the spiritual world, it makes it tough. And you don't want that. You want to make sure you can follow a good example and trying to be a good leader in God's eyes. We're not perfect, no one is. But the more we try, the better we become. We see things in a different light, and that's very important. And when you can't, that doesn't look good either, so you know. I didn't want to exaggerate, but we have to think about how we live our spiritual life, and when we are gossiping or tattling and gossiping, those two things will get us in trouble. And it looks back if you're helping them and you are also gossiping. Gossiping and tattling, you're not doing so good yourself. You have to be careful with and how you live your spiritual life. I will be back tomorrow. Once again, my first video in the morning will be only for the for the deaf and hard of hearing. My second video will be for both viewers. I just thought it would be nice to let the hearing know what I say in voice. But just remember, I try to give it to my deaf and hard of hearing to encourage them to understand the spiritual world, because we need God also as much as the hearing people do. God is a part of all of us. He's part of everyone. We are His children. We can get the help we need. We have a lot of lost people out there in our deaf and hard of hearing community. So helping all categories will help the spirit in our community all over. So when we do that, we do better, and we feel better about it. I don't know what topic will come up tomorrow. I've already got my topics on my list, but I won't say what they are until I do it. And I'll be better that way. But I will have scripture with my topic, if you do watch my video. As I just say in the morning, my first video will be for the deaf and hard of hearing community. Then my second one will be for both viewers. So all of you benefit the video topic. Well, anyway, thank you for watching my YouTube channel. You all have a wonderful night. Bye.